Good morning, our people. Welcome to the program. God is on our side today. Nothing happened. I set up the system like I normally did, and I turned it on, and it worked like it was supposed to work. So that's excellent.
Thank God.
Usually something is cooking in the background. So welcome to the program. We are happy, so happy to be here today. Excuse me, as usual, help us to share and like and subscribe and all those new nice things you need to do. Most especially share. I was going to show you guys something today. That meta analysis is actually correct to show that we are not sharing as much as we should. So please help us to share because that's how other people is going to get the information. If you are social media literate and you know how to divide the content, please help us to do that as well. Anything you can do for our people to get this information, we would definitely appreciate. So, welcome to the program. My name is Munachin Saga, and I am here in Houston, Texas.
Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you, our viewers. Thank you for if you're this is your first time, we welcome you. And those that are our usual, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for sharing. Please help us to subscribe, follow, like, do everything that we need to do so that people can get this information. We need to get this information out. It's becoming so urgent, urgent. Get the information out. So my name is Dr. AP Simon Okube. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm just going to take a few minutes to share and then we can start. All right. So, thank you so much as you join us. You are welcome to the program. Please continue to help us to share and like and subscribe and do all that fancy things we need to do, most especially sharing more than anything else, so that our people can get this information. There's no need for us to be in the situation that we are in. Like we keep reminding you guys on this show, the Christmas present has been delivered by God to the front door, that all you have to do is to go pick it up. And we are struggling with that, and it's not necessary. The earlier we um, do what we need to do, the earlier we can get home on time. We can start rebuilding our ancient ruins that the westernization project destroyed. So help us to share. It's not a popularity contest. It's all about trying to do right for our children. We don't have 100 years to live. A lot of us are in our 60s, 70s, 80s, and we are not young anymore. Americans will say you're not a spring chicken. You're not a spring chicken. So leaving just money is not enough, because our people get confused about money. Oh, I have money. I'm leaving money for my kids. Yeah, but if you leave money for your kids and they're in an environment where they are not thriving, you and your money will be lost. There will be nothing that come of it. So that's why we're trying to build a place that is sustainable for the widows, for the orphans, for everyone, so that the society can thrive. That's how a society thrive, not just you packing money for your children and walking away. Yeah, the society can even render them useless. So help us to share this information around. And if you need further information, let us know. We are authors of some summarizing things. We can summarize it for you. We can give you further information. We can come to your association and talk to your members. So, however way that you will like it is what we want to do. So, help us to share and um, like. We heard that as you're liking the show, it kind of like help to disrupt their algorithm. So you know they are doing a serious blocking so that people will not get the information that they need. The work is going on. Oh, by the way, we want to get a shout out to our food soldiers at work, at home, doing the great work. We thank you. We appreciate you. We see the progress. Thank you so much. Your work will not go in vain, and
Okay.
complete this project. So thank you so much. So our topic goes to the NINAS proposition, the only antidote to serial abuse of Africans. NINA's proposition, the only antidote to the serial abuse of Nigerians, of Africans especially. An elder does not sit at home, according to an Igbo adage, an elder does not sit at home and watch a tethered goat deliver. And we're going to explain further about that. The ancestors of the indigenous ethnic nations in the defunct Nigerian Federation were wise enough to warn that it is the mark of a good elder to pay keen attention to the events in his household, even to the point of how animals deliver their young. In other words, it is a mark of callousness and recklessness for elders to sit comfortably watching a restrained and restricted animal deliver her young. Unfortunately, today's elders have done exactly that, and even worse, not once or twice, but severally without any remorse or repentance. They have not only allowed tethered goat to deliver, they have also watched their tethered children deliver and nurse their babies while they hypothetically peddle all sorts of religious dogmas, belief, and excuses. It is disheartening reality that these elders, entrusted with safeguarding the well-being and future of their communities, have failed to fulfill their sacred duties. They have disregarded the cries of justice, equity, and even self-determination echoing throughout the land. Instead of championing the aspiration of their people, they have chosen complacency and inaction, allowing oppressive systems and structures to persist. Their negligence has gone beyond mere observation, is more of conscious choice by them to maintain the status quo, perpetuating a cycle of subjugation and marginalization. By ignoring the struggles and aspirations of their children to be free from oppression, they undermine the essence of familiar and communal bonds. In their failure to act, they become complicit in perpetuating injustice, denying their descendants the freedom and opportunity that they deserve. These elders must realize that the hour of reckoning has arrived. The NINAS multi-regional referendums represent a beacon of hope, an opportunity to break free from chains of oppression and chart a new course towards self-determination. It is therefore time for them to shed their complacency and discard their excuses and embrace the call for change. Therefore, we implore these elders to join us in this historic movement, not as a passive observers, but as active participants in shaping a future where our children and our grandchildren can thrive. The proposed referendums aims to restore power to indigenous ethnic nationalities, allowing them to determine their destinies, safeguarding their cultural heritage, and building a prosperous society based on justice and equity. These elders must remember the profound wisdom that was passed by our ancestors. So we challenge them to fulfill their role or their roles as true guardians of their communities, ensuring that no longer will they watch from the sideline as their people suffer. Together, we can create a legacy of empowerment and liberation that will resonate for generations. So today, we invite these elders and all the stakeholders of indigenous ethnic nationalities in Nigeria and Africa to join us as we continue to mobilize and prepare our citizens for the NINAS proposed multi-regional referendums that will unshackle the destiny of our children, born and unborn. So you can see things have been happening for years. Our elders are there speaking from both sides of their mouth. They are confused. They are taking bribes. They are selling our lands to our enemies. It's all about them getting something out of the system. They are no longer the good custodians that their ancestors expect them to be. They are allowing our children to leave their ancestral home and go and die in Mediterranean Sea, and they are okay with that. They are allowing our children to be lost to the system. A lot of our boys have been killed with impunity and nobody is asking questions. People like the World Igbo Congress are supposed to be the most educated groups. They are here speaking from both sides of their mouth and even supporting terrorism in our land. So you see, we have problem in our hands. So we are going to pull up today's video and dive into our topic for the day. Please continue to help us to share and like and all the things that we need to do to get this going. Sister, go ahead and add.
I'm trying to unmute myself. Yes, we really need to take responsibility because this job is for us. We're talking about our lives, our destiny, our children, our resources, our assets. There's no reason why we'll be so blessed. Africa is so blessed, yet Africans are the poorest all over the world. It is not does not add up. So today we'll discuss with you for you to understand that you need to be part of this job. This is not what you say, oh, these people, let them be doing, and then we'll do, let them be doing.
Yeah, let them be doing. That
Then
is the
some
right
someone will
word.
come and say, hey, Ninas, nobody knows Ninas, so tell Nina that nobody knows them so
Oh,
that they
I
will
know
go and
Tony.
do.
I've been following Tony for 50 years. I know
Yes.
him. I've been following him for okay, what is the Nina's proposition? No, that's not what we are talking about. Okay, what is it that Nina is asking Nigeria to do? No, but I've been following Tony. Hell, it's 2023. Can we have mercy on ourselves? Mm. You're following a man and you cannot say in simple terms what the man is all about. But you're following him and you know him from 20 million years ago. Hmm, it's sad. We have children to protect. If not for anything, think about your children because it looks like a lot of you don't care anymore. So I am going to pull up the PowerPoint for
Yeah,
the
no,
day.
the video, the first video, there's a short video.
Oh,
I'll key us into
yes.
as a Mulumba. Is it Mulumba? What is his name?
Yeah, yeah, Molumba.
Yeah. So he put this topic in a very like sharp way. And interesting. You know how he talks like he's singing. So so we just play it briefly before we now play Bratoni's own and then this continue the discussion.
Yes, my dear.
I pray that's Mulumba's own will play as well because it's very short and melodious.
I'm moving ahead of my time here.
Yeah.
The good night's sleep. Okay, close. Oh, it's already playing. Um, Let me see here. They came.
They abuse us. Then the Dutch came, we welcomed them, they abused us. Then the Italians came, we welcomed them, they abused us. Then the Germans came, we welcomed them, they abused us. Then the French came, we welcomed them, they abused us. Then the English came, we welcomed them and they abused us. Then the Indians came, we welcomed them and they abused us. Then the Lebanese came, we welcomed them, they abused us. Now the Chinese are coming, we are welcoming them and they are abusing us.
Tell them, my brother.
We must stop this. And we can only stop this through self-realization.
Tell them, my brother. Tell them this man has been shouting for the past million years now, trying to wake Africans up. Even turn his voice into music so you can actually turn it on and be listening.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, cool, charming music. For those of us in TK,
It's Sabon TK.
someone TK. He's been singing this melodic song for us to wake up. We want to be victims all the time. We are the victims of everything. Oh my goodness. So what I want to do.
So play Brother Tony's video because we are talking to not just the elders, all the stakeholders. No responsible adult should be at home and things are getting bad. And you say, Obasarum, I don't know. And they ask you something, you say you don't know.
You're supposed to be in charge.
Yes, they're supposed to be in charge. No, it's not okay. So we'll play that for you and then we'll go into our slides. Please help us to share, continue to like, continue to subscribe, because that's the only way our people will get the information that they need to get.
That can tell the younger generation what's happened in the past that has repeated more than once, that's about to happen again if we proceed in the direction of election under a disputed constitution. Are there no persons that are at least 75 years old who will be adults of 15 years, deep into secondary school, as at the May 29th of 1962, when the Constitution of the Western region was unilaterally suspended unconstitutionally by the government of the time, leading to a chain of events. Sole administrator appointed, Dr. Majeko Domi for Western region. At a time, Awolowo was being dragged to prison for winning the independence election. And in that suspension of the Constitution of Western region, the three constitutions by which Nigeria federated at independence in 1960 got into a spin. The union collapsed. Nigeria was stillborn on account of that stretch of incidents. And elections then came in 1963 to meet that unsettled constitutional situation. And the politicians went on refusing to solve the constitutional dispute. And we landed in all the things, 64, 65, Wild West, to January of 66. And we fell into the ditch that became the Civil War. It cost 3.5 million lives to bring things back to some stability in 1970. We carried on. Then came 93. Instead of settling the constitutional dispute, the constitution by which we could go back to being a federation, we went on to election. Abiola the good man, Abiola the competent man. Everybody voted from everywhere including at the base of his opponent, Tofa. He won the election by landslide. What was it that swallowed Abiola's mandate? A very good-hearted man. He even won the election. What was it that was bigger than the people of Nigeria that swallowed that mandate? Have we recovered from the consequences of that because we ended up in 1999 with a bogus democracy that has now brought the Fulani, who imposed the situation on everybody, into power, and the invasion we see now? So again, we're heading to exactly the same cycle of events. 2023 election is being advertised when the constitution is on fire.
Oh.
If we recovered from the one of 1963 and we recover from the one of 1993, at great blood cost, Abiola's life had to be thrown in. All the people killed between that time and now still part of the blood cost, and the infrastructure that had gotten decayed, and the economy that has collapsed, and the poverty that has become exemplary. 30-year cycles, 63, 93, and we're talking about 2023. And so the reason we're making this broadcast, we want to address the young people who are investing their hope in vote under an untenable constitutional arrangement, hoping that a good man, a competent man, will become president and all the problems will go away. Misdiagnosis that will lead to catastrophe for the patient. And here there are two patients. Nigeria that died before and the Nigerians that are dying now. Nigeria died long time ago. Nigeria, the federation. The people dying now are the Nigerians who are trapped in the carcass of that Nigeria. I think in order to get it in perspective, so that we can see, we have a window into the thinking of the young people who are operating in this misdiagnosis. There's a video, an interview of Mr. Delogun in the UK, in which a young person was telling him what went wrong with Nigeria. I would think that that young man in that interview, represents the thoughts of the current young people who are pursuing after PVC with all their might, having cited a good man, a competent man, Pitobi. I think we should look at that video so that we can come back to what we need to know in order to avoid the catastrophe that is racing towards us.
Julius Caesar has a line which says, "There is a tide in the events of men, which, if taken at the flood, leads on to fortune." And I remembered that when I saw the title of the book, The Missed Road to the Promised Land, i.e., there was a way to get to the promised land. Like, some kind of promised land exists somewhere. Obviously, it's been missed. And I think it's pretty clear reading the book that when you take the right decision at the right time, it can push you in the right direction. If you need to get a train somewhere that comes once an hour, if you miss that train, you're going to be at least an hour late, and longer if you have to get other connections and so on and so forth. So is there a single point that you can point to as the point that Nigerians themselves more so missed that road? For me, it's 1993. And how now can we get to the promised land?
For me, it's 19... 1993 to 1999.
Okay.
And if I had to pinpoint it, it would be the 1999 so-called elections.
Obasanjo.
Yeah. Why? Because we had them on the back foot at that point. And the position that had been taken by the Movement for National Reformation that was led by Chief Anthony Anaho and the pro-NACO groups, pro-National Conference, that's what it stood for. The position that they had taken was that we're not going to participate in any elections until we see the Constitution.
Right.
That was the line that everybody has been asked to hold. But again, because they're always flawed characters, if the principled ones take a stand, they're always flawed characters that are available that you can then approach, that the establishment can approach, to say, never mind those ones, you come with us. And those flawed characters, they broke the ranks. They agreed to participate in that 1999 election without seeing the Constitution.
That's it. That's a big one.
Because they needed, democracy needs legitimization by the people coming out and participating. The ultimate power that the people have is say, we're not coming. We're not going to participate. And at that point, they could have, we had the opportunity of securing a new constitutional settlement along the lines of the Orange Union. But we missed that opportunity. It was traded in. And the ultimate beneficiaries were the Obasanjos who got the appearance of power because they were now enjoying themselves as president and all the other hangers-on. But that was a key mystery. And we're back there again now because the 1999 Constitution is now widely acknowledged as a fraud.
Right. It is.
It contains the declaration, we the people give ourselves this Constitution. But it's a bit like those treaties of protection that we started with, drafted by one side and just imposed. Nobody knows who drafted the 1999 Constitution.
We know.
So it was a diktat. It has now crashed once more. And we're now at that point of a fresh start. So we're back to the crossroads once more. And it then becomes an issue of, are we going to go for the shortcut, the cheap solution? Or are we going to stand our ground and say, this needs to be dealt with once and for all?
Okay.
Yes, what we need to note in this 4 minutes clip I just played is that the question was, where did Nigeria miss its way? Now that we're searching for how to get back on the way to El Dorado, on the way to paradise, great Nigeria. The young man, I don't know his name, but he was so certain, he knew that it was in failing to allow Abiola, the good man, the competent man, who was embraced by the whole country, to emerge as president in 1993. He was very sure that that was where Nigeria lost its way. But his guest, Delogun, knew much better. And he said, no, that it wasn't in 93 that we fell into this ditch, that we got into this highway to calamity. That was in 99. Of course, 99 came as the culmination of the series of events that 93 ignited. So in 99, we ended up going to election. Let's mark this because we're about to repeat. We're about to fall into that one ditch the second time. In 99, according to Delogun, you just heard him, and he's in a position to know because he was involved.
He's a lawyer too.
Nadeko, Enoro, and all those who went to contest the election in 1999 from the fold of Nadeko, including Tinubu. Delogu says that it was because, if we were to pinpoint in all that period between 93 and 99, that it was in 99 that we went into election without settling the constitutional arrangement by which that democracy will be operated. That was how we got on the pathway to the disaster we are in now. And so, to interpret it further, many of us have heard from us, even the young man in the video did say that, yes, the Constitution is the problem. If the Constitution is the problem, and we have had similar problems in the past where we went into election without addressing that constitutional, impairment, some kind of something that is broken, a broken down constitutional arrangement. That was what happened to us in the electoral cycle of 63, 64, that became Wild Wild West. If the politicians of the time had listened to some of the voices of reason to first restore the constitutional arrangements before proceeding to another election, we wouldn't have had 1966, January 15.
Awesome. So this video, once again, is on the NINAS website. It's also on YouTube on the NINAS channel. Please go there and begin to educate yourself. We cannot not thank our brother for the massive work that he's doing on behalf of ignorant people that are speaking English, walking all over the place, thinking they have degrees, they live in a big house, they know what is going on. And we find ourselves in the same ditch because so we're going to pull up the PowerPoint so that we can start this show today. As usual, continue to help us to share. We need our people to wake up to their responsibilities as the enslaver. The Ahmadi Bello will say, he said, my people are not awake to their responsibilities. It's responsibility of enslaving people. So we need our people to wake up so that we can move. This thing had kind of complicated. Our brother has done it. It's not complicated. We're just being dishonest with ourselves. And I'm so glad this young man here mentioned that constitution is a problem.
Yeah.
And anyone that understands that constitution is a problem and still don't know what NINAS and LNC is and all that, then again, like we said, you're a criminal. Some people say they don't call people criminal on their shows. We call you a criminal. I don't have any other words to describe it.
If you're a criminal, we are daughters of truth now. If you're a criminal, we'll call you criminal.
Okay, I don't know how to use fancy words, my dear, like in Dutch. Money laundry, each and one as family man, he use Bola the whole.
It's only a criminal that will see another criminal and say, no, I won't call you a criminal because he's afraid that they will call him out or her out.
That makes perfect sense. So, as our topic goes, Dina's proposition, the only antidote to the serial abuse of Africans. And this thing has been going on and on and on and on. It was ensured. It was a case of the slave masters when they were leaving, they handed us another internal colonizer to continue their job. And he had the audacity to come on air and tell us that he will use the minorities of the North as a willing tool and the South as a conquered territory. And now people are thinking that they live in their land, they're doing well. When you are conquered and you've been treated as such, you don't have anything to prove that you are a part of a territory, a mere territory called Nigeria. So today we are going to look at the journey of Africans as chattel slaves. We're going to look at political process not meant for the people. Also, one thing common among the enslaved people. You guys will be flabbergasted by this. We are one of the things that our ancestors, in conjunction with the Holy Spirit, does is to help us to put things together that have been floating in the air. Maybe you see them in isolation, they are not making sense. We glue them together to make sense out of it. What is the right and the reasonable response to the serial abuse of your people? unfinished business of restoring constitutional arrangements. We must go back to that. So that for those of you singing obedience, God will do it for you, because we've been taught to take you to the Lord in prayer. We take you to the Lord in prayer. When we're dying, we take you to the Lord in prayer instead of waiting for our killers to make sure that we are not harmed. We will take you to the Lord in prayers. But if we don't finish these constitutional arrangements, that place, if you claim that you love Nigeria so much, you should key into what NINA is doing. Because if you don't, you will be running in circles until that kingdom. That's if you don't, go meet your ancestors in between that. So our first objective, the journey of Africans as chattel slaves. We know that African countries are speaking the languages of their colonizers instead of the indigenous peoples. They bring you to their school or to their schools, teach you their westernization project. So when you come back home, you begin to speak from both sides of your mouth. You get confused about your customs and the customs of the Western people. Your brothers will be going up and you will be going down speaking English in high volumes. These colonizers, they abuse the privilege and the warm welcomes or warm welcome that Africans gave them, like our brother Lumumba said. We help them to come and be, feel welcome in our land and settle down, but instead they begin to do what? Take what belongs to us. It began with the Arab in a smaller scale, then it was the Portuguese, the Dutch, the Italians, the Germans, French, and then the almighty English people came. They magnified the scale and made slavery very economical to the slave masters. They went, it's like somebody upping their game, right? You're here selling food, all of a sudden I bring the machine to make the fuel and sell it in a larger scale. We know that they use our slave brothers as properties. And they also use them for labor, they use them for sex, they use them for breeding. You claim that someone is beneath you, is below you, you're better than the person. But every chance you get, you hop on the person and start sleeping with them. And people don't even know, it wasn't just the women that they slept with, they were sleeping with men. We had the privilege of seeing one of their, descendants on YouTube. She must have heard it from the, lineage of her family, saying how for so many years, this, white men, they've been looking for black men to do something to. That's why each time they born them during slavery, the first thing they would do is to cut off their private parts and take you home. If they're eating it and sucking it at night as pacifier, I don't know. But this girl was adamant that that's what they were doing for years, and that's why they cannot stand brown men. We know that they can easily exchange them for cameras, umbrella, mirrors, truck, guns, anything, but something that we were meant for. Even the children of slaves remain the properties of the masters as well. So they will go and get them pregnant. This is the height of wickedness. When you impregnate somebody with your DNA, you turn around and enslave your own child. This is the depth of the wickedness that we're talking about. So you can imagine how much they care about you. For Africans, it has always been one form of abuse or another, and we love it because we can take it to the Lord in prayer. Abuse, we know we can fast and turn it to bonga fish, dry ourselves. While they have their heaven here on earth, we are waiting to be raptured so we can meet our Lord. And we ask the question, or are Africans even aware that they are being abused? Why are we so undeserving? Why don't we value what we have? How can a son that was left an
Sorry,
inheritance?
my sister. Sorry. A na-ekwuru ka ọwụ na ndị a na-ekwu agwa ga-anụ. They must hear. Sorry.
How can a son that was left an inheritance refuse to take care of it and build on it? Instead, they allow strangers to invade their lands and steal their resources. They are devastated, yet feel so defeated to do anything that will solve the problem. And then when somebody else goes and bring a solution on the table, because he's their brother, they will make fun of it. They will rather go and fast and pray, run into church, listen to, if we hire a white person to come and do what we're doing today, I promise you we'll get a change. People will jump into it so fast because They have taught you not to believe your brothers and sisters, to belittle your brothers and sisters, to not value your brothers and sisters. So even when the solution that is holding you hostage is being profiled by your brothers and sisters, you will not take it seriously. Instead, you'll be running your mouth. I know Tony. I know him. I've been following him. Okay, what does this stand for? I don't know, but I've been following him. They do not understand what the issues are so that they can offer a lasting solution. And they are dying because that's what they don't know. When you turn 50, 60, 70, you're checking out. You're more closer to the grave, like this grandmother told me, than you are to the other side. And you think it's okay for you to come here and deposit children and then check out and not do anything about it. Or better yet, feel defeated. And instead of going to look for solution to your problems, you're not even taking it to the Lord while in prayer. You're taking it to the Lord in alcohol. You're taking it to the Lord in lying. You're taking it to the Lord by running your mouth on issues that you know nothing about. Thank you, my sister. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Our people have suffered, and from what my sister just said, it did not start today. For years, different civilization used Africa to build their continent and their countries.
Hmm.
Raped Africa, took everything from Africans. Anywhere you go to Africa and see the people are not speaking their indigenous language, know that that language they're speaking is the people that colonized them. If you go to Angola, rather than speak Angola, indigenous language of Angola, they're speaking Portuguese or German or
Mhm.
whatever. Know that those that like in Nigeria that you're speaking English as your lingua franca, it's because Britain colonized you. So these things are not hidden. Anywhere you go in Africa that the people left their indigenous languages and speaking that of another person, practicing their culture, like my sister said, know that those were the people that colonized them, and they have not left them.
Hmm.
They are still colonizing them. That is why Africa is so poor. This thing is a very big project they did in Africa. They put a political process not meant to help the people. After they have used them as chattel slaves, after they've done like abomination that when you hear the details, you say, whoa, how did this happen? And they're still doing. Okay, leave the people now. Let my people go. No, they refuse. We will never let the people go. We'll continue to maltreat them. And they say they're practicing democracy. Yet they colonized an entire continent of billions of people and held them down, shackled them down. And they want to say they're civilized. And they want to say they practice democracy. No, they don't. So these colonizers will look at what they did in Nigeria, because what they did in Nigeria is what they did in other parts of Africa. So we are just
Yep.
using Nigeria to give you an example. We'll mention that you see us go in and out Africa, Nigeria, because it's the same thing. It's the same template, nothing different.
Mhm.
In Nigeria, they suspended the people's constitution. Why? So they can hijack their sovereignty and political process. That's why they did that, leading to constitutional disputes and grievances. Because when there's a problem, there's what we call root cause analysis. Get to the roots of it so that when you're solving it, you give a lasting solution. During the week, I was discussing with some people, and they feel that they are educated, they are professors. If you're a professor of law, you're not professor of medicine. If you're a professor in engineering, you're not professor of law. Calm down so that they will teach you what you don't know.
Hmm.
You people's ignorance is what is killing our people.
It's too much. It's their
Because
Western education.
Western education. So this problem led to what you have, the constitutional disputes we're having and grievances. They did not stop there. They stripped the people of their sovereignty assets and source of livelihood. They took everything. Go to South. See what they did there. Their water, there's no fish, their land, they can't farm, nothing. They took everything away from them. You enslave somebody, take everything, and then you are killing the person now.
Destroying their land.
Destroying their land, destroying the people, destroying their destiny, everything. They went ahead to impose puppets, the people that will benefit from the system. So when they give them small change, they'll become billionaires. In the place where people are so poor they cannot eat 3 square meal. Children cannot go to school with shoes. They go to school barefooted. People are coming out and say, oh, Dangote is the richest man in Africa. From where to where?
Okay.
What is he doing that the rest could not do?
Hmm.
You are becoming a millionaire, billionaire in a place where our people cannot eat food. How did you become billionaire? Are you the only person that has brain there? No.
Obviously.
They impose puppets, use them to replace the people's choice of leaders, because those people will steal things for them. That's the only reason they put them there. Things that you sell for $100, for instance, they'll buy it for $5. They give the puppet $1, for instance, and they'll become billionaire. When you discuss with some of these billionaires, or just ordinary discussion, they don't make sense. They are not intelligent. So how did you make your money?
That's following your brothers and sisters.
Exactly. So in place of electoral process, they put selection process to ensure that the people will not ever elect leaders of their own. The people that they can say, this one can do it. People have been doing it all this while. We told you that these are nations before now. We knew how to send representatives. But now these are criminals. They impose on the people. They select and impose on the people. These are the willing tools. They easily trade the people's freedom for the power and money they are making. It does not mean anything to them that people are dying. Each selection cycle that they call election, the incoming politicians will not even continue with the past projects and past proposals, because
No.
each group, each political group represents a foreign interest, a different foreign interest, not the interest of the people. So whatever people group that put them in there, they will do what they say they should do. Whether it's going to benefit the people or not, they don't care. That's why you see in Nigeria, we do one step forward, 20 steps backwards. One step forward, 20 steps backwards. Somebody will say, what is going on? Cycles of failure. They told you democracy, 8 years. Imagine if you do 10 cycles of those stupid 8 years, you will be 80 years. If you give birth to a child and you do 10 of those stupid, wasted cycles, democratic, so-called democratic cycles, the child will be 80, yet nothing is done. It did not start in Nigeria. Even here in America, the Black Americans have been voting Democrats, Democratic Party, ever since. When they finish voting them, they just use them. When they finish voting them, they will abandon them till the next season of voting. Democratic Party here
Please
used,
continue to help us to hit the like button.
yes,
We
please.
are doing serious blocking here. Thank you. And sharing, of course.
So the Democratic Party in the US, we're using that as an example for you to understand that it is everywhere. So if you understand it, then the solution will become easier to you. So they use the Black Americans just the way Caliphate Fulani use the Almajiri, Hausa Almajiri, those people that they have enslaved over 200 years. Whenever it's time for voting, that's why the Almajiris give them block voting, because they've been enslaved. Even in America, They manipulate people, especially Democrats. They are
Mm-hmm.
both evil, but one is more dangerous than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're bringing Spanish people as a bloc. They're promoting them now so that
Mm-hmm.
they become the new voting bloc they will
Mm-hmm.
manipulate. So they have used the black Americans and dumped them. Now they are facing for a new wife. And the people do not even know that they are being used.
No, they're still defending them, those that are in the dungeon, still
Yes.
defending the process.
You'll be defending the person that is making your life miserable. Is that not madness? These people are the ones that cause war, crisis, and genocide that is seen in Africa. But people they say, oh, why are Africans killing themselves? No. Somebody is instigating it, somebody is causing, somebody is supplying ammunition. Who told you here? Say book this Fulani people that carry stick. One AK-47 is like $2,000. Who is buying that for them? People that have not even changed way of clothing. People that don't even have water to drink, they drink the pee of cow inside forest.
Hmm.
How can they afford AK-47? Because they are being sponsored by the colonial masters. If you don't look beyond your nose to see what we are saying, you'll be making analysis that, like stupid analysis. You must put your eye down so that what we're saying will make sense to you. These people empower alien minority group to invade and conquer the indigenous peoples. Look at your area, check who is killing you. All the places, southeast, northeast, northwest, everywhere that people are being killed and massacred, butchered, kidnapped. Who is doing that? Don't listen to stupid people on media. Go and listen to the villagers. They will know the people killing them. They will tell you because they know them. They speak a language. They know the people killing them. Who is empowering them? The colonial masters. They kill off the people that want to agitate for new system. That's how Biafra will lost 3.5 million people. Starve children to death. Why? Because they want to steal resources. But one thing is common among all these enslaved indigenous peoples. Anywhere you find them, whether they're in Africa, even in America here,
Hmm.
anywhere you find people are so enslaved, brainwashed, incapacitated, one thing is common. You know what? Retrogressive religion.
Hmm. They're waiting for rapture to come.
That's why they say that religion is the opium of the masses.
Hmm.
They give it to them and use it to brainwash them and control them. Without that, their fake religion that they put on the people, it's impossible for them to colonize them or to shackle them the way they did. We are talking about the type of religion that makes people so weak and vulnerable. The type of religion that creates poverty and backwardness.
Hmm.
Kalu business. They will give you one, they will take 20. They say, the white man built a school for us. Without the white man, our ancestors were eating us and beating and eating us. If your own ancestors were eating you, my own
I
ancestors were
did
not
not
eating
eat
me.
me, my dear. My greeted me and affirmed me every morning.
That's why I'm here. So I'm not doubting that some of you, your ancestors were evil. But in every community, you have evil people. So some of you, your ancestors were evil. And we are saying you should go and do atonement. Those of you that your ancestors did abomination in Anibu, you need to go and do atonement. Stop generalizing it that all our ancestors were evil. All of my own ancestors, I came from a lineage, a blessed lineage. You that came from ancestors that were wicked, go and do atonement. Because you know cause lying subuna Igbo. So when they bring this type of religion we are talking about, this fake type of religion, we give you example. False Christianity. The type that will teach Christian slaves to put everything in the hand of God. Hapụrụ ya Chukwu, tinye ya n'aka Chineke. They are killing you. Your husband is killing you. Say, leave him for God. That's how Osinachi died.
Yeah, what a friend we have in Jesus. We'll
Yes,
put everything in prayer to him.
to him. Slaves, take everything to Lord in prayer. Why they are slave masters? Take charge of everything by themselves, including killing, enslaving, and stealing resources of other people. And God is not coming down. Because you that they gave the resources, you're useless. You don't have brain to keep it. Why will God worry somebody that wants it and is grabbing it when he told you that the kingdom of God suffered violence and the violent take it by force? What else do you want them to tell you? Why you're doing all that? Why the slave masters are doing, stealing your resources? You, the slaves, you're singing, what a friend we have in Jesus. Hey, take it to the Lord in prayer. You will continue to sing that what a friend you have in Jesus until you die. Poverty will kill you because the Bible said it. He said, a little folding of hands. He said, poverty will come upon you like a bandit. People don't read the Bible. See, that's why I say, if you are going to church, you call yourself a Christian and you don't read Bible, you're a criminal. You know why you're a criminal? Because you will mislead your children and they will die for nothing. Because you won't have sense. If it's only the one that you're criminal pastor, you're Agboro Jenga pastor, your priest, Ndohi priest, Nandiama priest, it's only the one that they are printing and teaching you that is inside your head. You are ready to be destroyed. And you will die and heaven will stand. Nothing will happen. Your generation will go from poverty to poverty to poverty and nothing will happen. It's just because you don't have sense. Because Bible already said it. God said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. God has already condemned you for destruction. So it's not anybody's fault. You refuse to develop sense. Jesus said you should be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. Mara krego. Have sense. Develop a konuche. Don't be mumu. Mumuing around with your pastors. See what they did to you now. PVC. Good governance. Nara. Use your brain, you will not use because they have used religion to block your brain. As every hole in your brain is blocked. So you can't think critically. And when people that know are speaking, your itibolibo brain will not allow you to keep quiet so that you know whether you learn one thing or the other. Our people have been taught wrongly. We need to reevaluate the religion that our people are practicing. That is what has kept them. That's what is common amongst all the enslaved people. First of all, they give them a fake religion that will tie them down, that will make them weak, that will affect, because you are how you think. You see, your thought process, your action depend on your thought process. How you think is what you become. From Monday to Saturday, you're going to work. Sunday, the only day that God said is a rest day, that you should rest. This umwekwensu will keep you in church for 8 hours, 7 hours, brainwashing you, teaching you nothing that makes sense. And you're there shouting, hallelujah, amen. Since you have been shouting hallelujah, amen, what has changed in your life and the life of your community? Look at Nigeria that you people are there. Building churches, every kilometer is one church. The more church you build, the more demons you produce. Meanwhile, the colonizers, they spend little time in church. Those that want to go, because most of them don't go to church. But those that go, maximum 1 hour, 30 minutes, they're done. Everybody go. In fact, if there's a day that they are celebrating, maybe which is a Memorial Day or something, they might even cancel church. You say, go to your family, be with your family, spend time with your family. This is a family time.
Mm-hmm.
But my people, that's the time you put 40 days fasting. When your brain will be dehydrated, how can you think more? They use fasting to dehydrate you people, and you're not able to think. One thing common among all the enslaved people. Our people are now waiting for rapture so that they will receive mansion in heaven. Meanwhile, the colonizers have their own mansion on earth. Their kingdom is here. Now we are begging to apply to get the visa to run so that they will bring. We are running Japa to go there because they have built their own. We now go there. Why are you running now? You would have stayed in Nigeria to wait for rapture. Hypocrites. You see the same level of poverty you see anywhere you have that type of Christianity being practiced. I'll give you an example. West Virginia here in US. Eastern Kentucky. If you go there, this is Andocha. But they have this type of retrogressive religion. If you go there, you will think you are inside.
Don't use Africa as an example, my dear. Stop right there. Stop right there. Don't do it. Do not
Dear,
do it. Find another continent to describe that place, so it cannot be Africa.
you will say, is this place inside America? How? Unyi. Like you say, they are carrying Bible. They are very religious. Religion is a demon. That's not what God called you to do. According to Sanusi, he said that the type of Islam being practiced in Nigeria is 13th century Islam.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the type they have in Dubai, where people are running to go and do a party. I remember one pastor, he made everybody, they flew because it's his birthday. They wore white inside yacht. Pastor, he's not going to Islamic country to go and do birthday.
I don't know.
Committing atrocity everywhere. Sanusi said it. So don't think it's only Christian we're talking about. It's not only Christianity. Religion is religion. Meanwhile, religion is not the knowledge of God, though. Religion is ritual, something you're doing, mumu ishi. Whether it's Islam or
despite your psychosis.
yes, whether it's Islam or whether it's Christianity, any religion. Because you see, how can you be killing other people because you want to worship God? Does it make sense?
What God are you worshiping?
Which God are you worshiping? So any religion that is making you to become a terrorist is that's retrogressive religion we're talking about. That's not what other people are practicing. People have left you. You look at Asia, India, they were once colonized, but you will never see them worship the God of their colonizers or practice the religion brought by their colonizers, nor speak their language. They retained their own language, promote their own culture and way of life, because they understand their identity. Identity crisis is a major issue. When you don't know who you are, you will never achieve anything in life. The first step to achieving something, your purpose in life, is to know who you are. Discover yourself, self-awareness. But no, church tell you, name your child English name. Don't give them Igbo names, because Igbo names are demonic. You change your last name.
Let's look at the name Jennifer and Flower and Mona Saga.
Yes, so
or Champagne and Mercedes.
Manina buy urine. Your fathers, your ancestors, the name they gave, that we know that names move us. You change it and answer one stupid name. You think it's by changing name. Poverty will continue to chase you because you don't even know who you are. This Asia and India, they were colonized like us. But you see them, rather than they worship anything the way the colonizer said it, instead they worship cow. They'll say that worship cow. People don't joke with those that colonized them. Even this America, when they got their independence, they changed everything that Britain did. Opposite. Even
Mm-hmm.
English, they turn
Even
it upside
English.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Even light, to switch lights. If Britain is switching up as on, they will switch down as on.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they change it. Why? Because they want to show that they've broken away from bondage. Nigerians and Africans are there building the slave camp and maintaining it rather than tear it down.
Hmm.
What is the right and reasonable response to the serial abuse of your people? You listening to us, male, female. Are you not seeing your people? Are you not seeing what your people are going through? Have you not heard what our people have gone through? Go to south, northeast, go to northwest, go there, go to Benue, go to Middle Belt, go to Southern Kaduna, go to Plateau, see where people are being slaughtered like what I don't know. You call yourself a Christian. Are you happy with it? What is your appropriate response to something like that? What you're doing in your small corner, is it commensurate to the size of the problem? We're talking about delivering 200 million people. You're telling me, yes, I did this. I built one farm. I built one industry. Is it one industry that we want to use to feed 200 million people? We're saying that our people are back. The poverty line is calling for emergency. That's serious intervention. You're satisfied with the little things you're doing in one corner at the other. Because you just want to satisfy your ego. It's me. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. When there's a problem on the table, look at what you're bringing as solution. Is it commensurate to the problem? Are you going to be able to solve the problem in 6 weeks? Or is one that you say, hey, Rome was not built in a day. But Rome was built. You are not building because you don't even have a foundation to build. You're deceiving yourself. We are so educated and resourceful in the South, yet we are so defeated. How do we know that we are defeated? Our people are running away because the place is hostile and you cannot tell them not to. Why can't we embrace the solution that will ensure everyone, majority, that everyone is okay? At least majority will be okay at once. Not the one that, oh yes, I help my that widow. I pay school fees for that person. Are you God?
A philanthropist, right?
Yes, philanthropist. Yes, the other one, Aljuz Okan, will say, I feed 250 people in my house. We are talking about 200 million. You're telling me 250 people
Oh, dear.
that you are giving a Okerion in your house. Some people want other children to even go and do protest for them so that they can get killed. He said, our people, why can't they go and protest? There's a solution on the table. That solution does not involve our children dying. You middle class and the elite, better listen to what we're saying. This is when to solve this problem. These same middle class people, these same politicians, led the people to go and vote in a system where votes
It's already rigged against
already rigged against them.
them.
Everything.
And
The
they're speaking
judiciary
big
is
English.
rigged against my people. Voting, politics, everything is against them. Everything is already rigged against them. You led them like Judas goat into it, ignoring NINAS warning and campaign to suspend such a thing until fundamental issues are dealt with. No. Election that is only the worst that will come out. The worst leading the best. That is what you're practicing in Nigeria. We say, let's change it. You don't want to hear. We have unfinished business that we need to finish. That is constitutional arrangement. We need to restore it. We need to, because when we talk of constitution, it's not just writing constitution. The arrangement, we need to, how we were before, we need to restore it. How we were before they started balkanizing us, cutting us into pieces like bush meat. We need to restore it. We want to interact based on our identity. I don't want to have my family in Edo State when I'm in Delta State. It will not be okay for my existence. Where are the elders that have been part of attempts for constitutional arrangement? It's not today that people started talking about this thing. They did NADECO, need PRONACO, national conferences, solemn assemblies, declarations. All these things have been happening, and hall will be full. All of them, all the elders will be inside. Where are you people? Why did you allow few flawed characters to break the rank? Why? Why do you allow these criminals to keep legitimizing fraud in the name of building a country? Why? Why didn't you continue to stand your ground and insist to deliver democracy that will be based on the people's constitution? Why? Why are you people fooling yourselves around? Why are you fooling around when you know the right thing that needs to be done? Every day our people are dying. Hunger, punishment, like terrible things happening to our people. People can kill their children, eat. People use their children now to do ritual money. Itiena Anyoma, do you think it's good eye? Our people are in a dire situation. This your kalu business of one fool, one criminal, that is not the solution. Things will get out of hand, things will snap. Why do you keep allowing our people to go for cheap solutions? Solution that will not lead them anything except to calamity. Why? Why are you pretending as if you don't know? You are 90, you are 80, you're 70. Are you going to die without solving this problem? Why are you people deceiving yourselves? I can't call your names, you know yourselves. Please share this thing for us. Share. Let these elders listen and hear. The grave will eject you people if you're waiting to die so that they will bury you. You will not rest in peace, so you will not rest in peace. Every 30 years, you shed the blood of our children, chasing stupid mandates. Are you people not tired? Are you not ashamed? 1963, the same thing. Awolowo mandate, Awolowo mandate. 1993, the same thing. Abiola's mandate, Abiola's mandate. 2023, you are chasing P2B mandate that monster has swallowed. From where? People that the judiciary are the ones that set up the judiciary. How do you want to do it? When are we going to realize that we have missed the road once again? It is time to go back to the way to the promised land. There is a way to the promised land. If you take a wrong exit, you will not get there. You have taken a wrong exit. We need to go back to the right road. We need to dismantle the colonial structures and their imposed constitutional arrangements to end tyranny and serial abuse of indigenous peoples in Nigeria and entire Africa, so that we can install true democracy. We know what democracy is. We don't have it yet. We can do it. We need to deliver the people and give them back their sovereignty, because when you own something, you will know how to take care of it.
Yep.
People that do not, something, if it doesn't belong to someone, they will not know how to, they will mismanage it. It's only the indigenous people that can manage their resources and manage it well. And it will be good for everyone. And we'll have a better place. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister. It's funny that you mentioned that it's something that you own, that you will take care of. I heard a story of a young guy that was given $230,000 and he blew it in a year, and he doesn't even have a job. $230,000 because I promised him, like I was saying, I told the someone that was telling me, I said, if he had worked hard for that $230,000, not even devil himself will cause him to blow it in a year, unless if of course he's on drugs. So we're going to continue with the 5-point agenda summary, which is an acknowledgement of grave constitutional grievances raised in union dispute as declared. We keep saying that we need people to understand this thing has been done now was since 2020, and we are running into a 3-year mark, and people are still confused, acting like it's impossible to do, but yet they are sufficient enough to gather momentum for P2B, and you guys will not do the same for the one thing that will lead to your freedom. The second one is an express commitment to decommission the 1999 Unitary Constitution. You know what to do. We have our strategy in place. It's there for your review at any point in time. Just like we always remind you guys on this show, if you feel like you have something better than what we have, put it out there for review. Put it out there. That's if you're smart enough to put it out there. Put it out there for review. And the third one is an express commitment to serve for the elections, which you guys have done, and it didn't really materialize. Now they have imposed who they want to impose on you and telling you to respect the constitutional, the judicial advice or recommendations. So once again, your mandate got swallowed again by the 1999 Constitution, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Nothing. And the fourth one is an invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning arrangements, including mandate timeframe, membership and ancillary matters, and last but not least, announcement of a time-bound 2-stage transitioning process, which shall in the first stage allow us to conduct a multi-regional referendums by which the constituent components shall then decide if to recommit to or opt out of the union. And in the second term, in the second, these two terms of union as may be dictated by the outcome of the referendums. So we go through the referendums, and whatever that comes out of it, then we'll move from that point of view. But people find it hard to do, find it hard to understand. That you want to read the Bible, you want to say, oh, Peter Obi didn't have to run for election. He has all this money, he could have stayed in London. And I'm telling you, they need more money, because the money that they have doesn't even belong to them. They need more money. So for those of you feeling like, oh, he didn't even have to participate. Oh, yes, he had. He has to participate because he needs more. They always need the blood of our people to enrich themselves, right? If you feel like he's doing you a favor by running, all he did was, if you understand exactly what this man did, he just led our people to another disastrous 4 years of their life. And I know he's been handsomely rewarded for playing the colonial masters game. And we'll move on to the spotlight on the wisdom of our ancestors. I love these pictures. The picture that we have on here, talking about our ancestors. And I do thank my ancestors and all our good ancestors. I don't know about you guys with the bad ones. We honor them. We are their product. And we'll continue to honor them in all our ways. So as our spotlight goes today, you know what our objectives are, which is to illuminate the brilliance of ancestors, highlight their radiance, celebrate their ingenuity, illuminate their part that they have paid for our progress, honor their innovation, especially paying homage to the creativity of our predecessors. So we will continue with this spotlight as we move on in this program, because a lot of our people are lost. I was speaking to a young man yesterday, and he mentioned that, what did he say that was so untrue? It looks like we have lost our ways, because for so many years, nobody was telling us what our ancestors used to do. So because of that, just like Igbo adage will say that na aro bafo, right? Or menala. So now Ara Balafo, and he's boldly speaking about something that is not true, as if it's true, because he never heard or seen otherwise. So if not for anything, that is the goal of this section of our show. So please, please, please help us to share, like, subscribe, do all these things so that people can begin to educate themselves. And I want to thank those that sent some feedback about the one from last week. So if we get a good feedback from that one, we'll be able to break it down. They were like, this is interesting. A lot of them didn't know, which is okay. Which is okay if you didn't know. So as you're getting in this information, like we want you to share with your children as well as share the information with others. So Sister, go ahead.
Thank you very much, my sister. It will be on so unfair for our ancestors that fought some 30 something years trying to fight away these colonial masters, for their children to not say, yeah, they were evil, they did this, they did. A lot of lies have been told against our ancestors. Oh, they didn't know God. That's not true. That's why today we want to look at our spirituality. Because we are Igbo women, we are using the Igbo spirituality. I don't know that of other people. Please, if you know other people, investigate and find out that we are talking about our own. As recorded in the Old Testament, our spirituality as Igbo is very, very similar to ancient Judaism. If you go and read the Old Testament, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, all those places, all those things recorded there, it's our culture, because our spirituality was our culture before, of course, it got corrupted, but it was our culture. This is different from idolatry, witchcraft, sorcery, false prophet, false prophetess of Baal. No, that's not what we're talking about. Because anytime we talk about spirituality in Africa, people will start thinking about demons and evil.
My dear. Oh, Hendocha Guarahana.
The lie is too much. We worship God as the only supreme being, Ndi, from ancient time. And there are so many things, evidence to show you that that's who we were. We believe that God is the creator of the whole universe, humanity, everything within and outside the globe. Ekekerowa. If you miss the story, look at our language. What we did not do or did not have, we don't have a word for it. We don't have a word for it. That will show you that we don't know what it is. But anything we have a word for, it means that is the history. That is the accurate information of what happened. We believe that God is almighty, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Chineke pụrụ ime ihe niile. We believe that each person has his or her guardian angel. Onye na chi ya. We see God as a fair God that punishes unfairness, injustice, inequity. That's our worldview as Ndibo. That's our spirituality. And there are signs of our spiritual relationship with the God that created us. We bear his name. We also give our children his name. Chidera, once God has written, that means we're talking about destiny. Nkechikwuru or Nkechikara. We are very, like, our spirituality is very, like, high, not even, accordion miri, is very concentrated. Our boys are circumcised on the 8th day of life, before medicine even started doing it. That's a covenant, the type of covenant that descendants of Abraham we have it. There are so many other things that if I go in 2 minutes, so you have short time. So we're just gonna just say little and then you go and find out more. Because this is just to, activate your thinking and then you go and search. Ask your people. Christianity was in Africa before colonial masters came with their fake, corrupted version of Christianity, which was for the purpose of stealing, killing, and destroying, just like John 10:10 said. Say the enemy is coming, it's coming to steal, kill, and destroy. That's the colonial masters. They're the ones. You think that the colonial masters brought you religion? No, they did not. Or brought you spirituality? They did not. Maybe they brought religion. The kingdom of this, kingdom of Rome. Kingdom of Britain, Kingdom of England, Kingdom of the. That's why our people are so divided, even when they want to worship God, because they have to be loyal to each of the kingdoms, rather than of God. Is that Christianity? No. The pure form of Christianity was already in Africa before these colonial criminals came with the abracadabra that they came with. They did not write the Bible. We keep telling you. They didn't write the Bible. They lack the ability to write the Bible. They cannot even practice what is inside the Bible. If you write Bible, you will not go around killing people, colonizing them. Your activities, the Bible says, by their fruit you shall know them. By their fruits and their evilness and wickedness, you will know that they never read Bible and they never wrote it and they never practiced it.
And they lack the capability to
And
rise
they
up.
lack the ability.
Mm.
They only twisted it to use it to colonize people. There are special spiritual gifts and skills. Like if you go to Genesis, go to Jeremiah, go to Isaiah, you see all those things there. The Old Testament, you see all those gifts, all the things, but even people that are calling fire down, all those things is in our spirituality. In Igbo spirituality, we have prophets, we have seers, we have herbalists, people that know what leaf is for what treatment. They get inspiration. This is what this leaf will cure. This is what this leaf will cure. If you go to Bible, you see them there. Bone setters, those that control 4 elements of the weather. Yes, our people have power to it wasn't sorcery. No, because it's not a witch that created rain. It is the God that created rain, harmattan, wind, and sunlight that gave our people skills and power and wisdom and how to control it so that the weather will be controlled. Because if you have too much harmattan, you have famine the next year. So God will get some people skills to control rainfall. It's not sorcery. It's the enemy that lied and told you, which devil can control water? Did he create water? Did he create rain that he's able to control it? Science, technology. People had gifts given to them by God. And sometimes some of these spiritual gifts run clan by clan, family by family. This family, you do this. Just like you have Levites that he gave a special role. Different clans had special gifts in their spirituality. Go to your family and find. And by the way, Ndi Igbo, go and start rebuilding your Obi. Your Obi, every family in Ani Igbo, go and start rebuilding your Obi. Find out what it will take, even if as cheap as possible. It's not idolatry. It's significant. That Obi, there's something he was doing in Igbo land. When these colonial masters came, they took both the idols and then some holy things in Igbo land. We had some holy things. I was telling somebody. I said, imagine if a white man came and saw Ark of Covenant and the plate of manna that God said they should put inside and the rocks that they picked from the floor or the floor of Jordan. They will say it's idol. Meanwhile, these things were sacred things that God told the people that he had relationship with to keep it. They stole all, took all away. Let's begin to redress our roots. Like Christianity got corrupted, and people with evil intentions began to use it to manipulate and enslave others. That's those that are not awake to the tricks of the enemy. Our spirituality at a time got corrupted. It was because it got corrupted that the white man was able to colonize us. If he didn't get corrupted, ume zuru ndị ọcha colonize ndị Igbo. Abominations started coming in our land. Arụ gba arụ, ọ bụrụ omenala. Those abominations weakened our spirituality. That was why we were able to be conquered. And that's what we're saying. Let's begin to go back to restore our identity, restore our spirituality, and restore our connection to our Maker, so that our Maker will take us back to where we ought to be. Ndị Igbo, daalụnụ. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my sister. That was a powerful one. Thank you so much. You know that even with the little left obi that was left in our land, you know, the so-called current fake Christian organizations that we have in Nigeria, they make sure that we knocked off the rest of the ones that was still there protecting our people. And if you can see, since everybody took it down and put up their westernized homes,
We become vulnerable.
you're so vulnerable. They knew, yeah, they knew the strength of those Obi. That's why they were pointing at it. That's what's holding you hostage. That's why you cannot move forward. Your forefathers are the ones holding you down, and they ensure that every one of us knock at the one thing that God left to protect us. So, my sister, thank you so much for reminding that. We should also set that as a reminder to put that in the minds of our people for us to go and review that will be and maybe make an atonement for even doing that to our ancestors to start with. So until next week, we shall see you guys again. Thank you so much for joining us today. As usual, please continue to help us to share, like, send out this information to the rest of our people. We will finish this job. This is like going to school. You pay your school fees, you're going. Before in our mind, 5 years has elapsed or whatever years, and they will say, oh, you're graduating next semester, whatever. So that's what this is all about. So don't be discouraged. Don't be whatever. Just keep at it. You're a stakeholder. We will get this work done. We are not looking for Iguatro, like my brother said. We are looking for Iguendemai,
Yes.
there's such a thing, so that we can move. Thank you so much, Sister AP, for that. Until next week, brothers and sisters, take care. Bye bye.